Last week, we brought you the first series of a special interview appearance of the Minister of State for Niger Delta Affairs. In continuation of our expose on the significant achievements of the ministry, in this second part, the minister touched on vital areas of critical concern to ensure the ministry lived up to the expectations of the people of the Niger Delta region. Let's look at the angle of programs for youth mobilization and empowerment in the Niger Delta region. Can you give us instances and efforts in this regard?
Empowerment, training, that is one area where I believe the ministry has excelled. Last year, we trained more than 1,200 youths, women, artisans, etc. in the Niger Delta. And not only did we train them, we also empowered them to start their businesses. Those who are in businesses already, to invest more in such businesses to make it bigger, because if it is bigger, they are likely to employ more people. And 500,000, 500,000 naira was given as take-off grant to those people who are trained to start their businesses or expand their businesses. So we expect that by now, we should have not less than 3,000 Niger Deltans benefiting from the training we did last year. The one for this year is about to start. We are ensuring that now even have more people to benefit, because we found out that giving 500,000 naira to one person may not really promote what we want. We have found out that women, apart from the youth, should be the focal point of what we are doing. They are better managers of resources, better managers of little funds that can make them to continue to promote the welfare of their families. So we are saying that this year, if it is possible, one person goes for the training and then the money that comes out of it is shared among women, just women alone, to the effect that as many of them as possible can benefit from the training and the disbursement that will come from the training.
In the area of involving the private sector in the development of the region, what are the impactful efforts your ministry have made to actually involve the private sector?
It is our belief that government cannot do this thing alone. It is our belief that the private sector should partner with the ministry. The only people that we think are being forced now to do it is the private sector that have to do with oil exploration. And that is why when I was in the Senate, I was the proponent of the view that the PIGB, as we called it then, should be passed. In fact, it took me 2 years of work on the PIGB before it was passed by the House of Representatives and passed by the Senate and passed on to Mr. President for assent, which we now call PIA. It was the same document. The only difference that I saw there is that during our time, we recommended 5% for the communities, which was reduced to 3% by the 9th Assembly. So, if the oil companies play their role very well, because they must give back to the community from where they make their money, the wealth they are enjoying is created. If they do that, together with other people who believe in developing the society, I think the Niger Delta will be a better place.
The federal government identified 9 priority areas between 2019 and 2023. Let's look at it. Have your ministry been able to execute some of them successfully?
The 9 priority areas, as far as I'm concerned, those that are really in the forefront, to me, is the economy, industrialization, promotion of the welfare of the people, and ensuring that Nigerians are free to do their business without fear or let. That is, all these people who are disturbing our peace should be driven away. Anybody who can tackle even 2 or 3 of those will have done well for Nigeria. We have tackled almost everything that has to do with our ministry, like industrialization. The economy is being tackled globally by the federal government, and since we are part of the federal government, then we are contributing to the development of the economy of the country. We are also doing a lot in sensitizing our people every year about why peace should prevail in the Niger Delta, because without peace, there can be no development. In the whole of Nigeria today, it is the Niger Delta that is most peaceful. And to me, it is due to the effort of this ministry, because we solicit, we do round table discussions, we take our soliciting to the homes of the Niger Deltans, and we all agree that without peace, there can be no progress. So those are the areas that we have excelled, and I believe we will continue to excel.
For a ministry of this nature, it's quite significant to synergize and partner with government agencies, non-governmental organizations. To what extent have you been able to do this to at least improve the lives of the people in that region?
We cooperate a lot with the Ministry of Environment. That is the most important ministry to us because of the degradation and so on and so forth that is known in the Niger Deltas. We also have tried to work with a lot of government and agencies like the government of Britain, US, and so on and so forth. We even went to the US sometimes to try and synergize with them, and we believe that by the time all our efforts come into fruition, a lot more will be gained by the Ministry of Niger Delta on behalf of the Niger Deltans, and the cooperation we are seeking and we are working on will be to the advantage of Niger Deltans.
We've talked about youth empowerment, but we want you to be quite a little bit specific in terms of programs you've been able to organize. Coming into the ministry, I saw a banner on youth engagement and all that. What is the approach really with regards to getting these youths actually well involved and positioning them to also contribute their quota to the development of the area?
One of the biggest problems we have is to let the youth and Niger Deltans generally know that amnesty will not be there forever. What is going to happen post-amnesty? That is our headache. That is why we engage them all the time. That is why we train people who want to expand their fishing business. We train them. We let them know that they can do poultry, do farming. We let them know that they can even make nets and so on and so forth for the peasant fish farmers and so on and so forth. So it's a composite type of training. Looking at Niger Delta, what can we do? What do they want? Because it's not as if we just sit down here and say, this is what you should go and do. No, we consult with them. We ask them what they would like to do, and we take that into perspective when setting up our programs of training and ensuring that everybody is involved. Even women that we train, it's not all women of Niger Delta that will be fisher women. Some people want to be hairdressers, some people want to make soap, and so on and so forth. So it is all embracing the type of training we give to them. But we engage them also to let us know what they want us to train them about. And if you don't engage the Niger Delta people, you know, we're a little bit very militant. So it is only when you engage, when you consult, that you can have a pleasant atmosphere to operate.
President Muhammadu Buhari-led government under the ministry has brought in some level of vigor, innovation in trying to deliver on the mandate and vision of this ministry. For the benefit of some Nigerians out there, people want to know basically what has the ministry done in terms of getting the traditional rulers involved, because these are major stakeholders in the Niger Delta region. And how have you been able to leverage on their position to be able to, attain your mandate?
One of the biggest mandates we have is to ensure peace and tranquility in the Niger Delta. And you know that without our traditional rulers, it will be very difficult. Everywhere in Nigeria and in Africa generally, we believe very much in our elders, in our traditional institutions. So in everything we do, we consult with them. The main mandate of this ministry is to coordinate the activities that is going on in the Niger Delta. And probably that is why we don't have enough money, to do projects, because our focus is really coordination. My thinking is that everything for this ministry to be able to get its mandate right, every activity in the Niger Delta should be coordinated by this ministry. But the amnesty program is not under us. Even the NDDC that is under us was just returned to us of recent during this administration. If we are to coordinate, everything should be there for us. if there is going to be problem between NDDC and the traditional rulers, we should be able to intervene and ensure that there is peace, there is cooperation, and that there is progress. If there is going to be any problem between the youth and the amnesty, we should be able to be there to also coordinate and ensure that everything is peaceful. But I want to assure you that our traditional rulers are being carried along in everything we do in this ministry.
Thank you very much. Honourable Minister, good a thing you mentioned NDDC. The NDDC has been fully empowered to actualize its mandate, but as we know today, the funds made available to the NDDC seems not to be commensurate or measurable with its performance. Do you agree, sir? But let's clear the air.
Almost 2.5 years ago, Mr. President decided that there must be a forensic audit of the NDDC because it is clear that funds that had been generated and released to NDDC over the years had not produced a commensurate performance comparable to the funds that were available to them. And you will be surprised that when the forensic audit report came out, over 11,777 projects were said to have been abandoned and probably paid for. So people were just getting money for doing nothing. And like Mr. President said, by the time the report would have been received and recommendation made by the Ministry of Justice, a lot of people would have to pay for the crimes of the past. A lot of people will have to, I believe, will have to refund monies they have taken without working for such monies. So it is very clear, very glaring that performance of the NDDC over the years had been short of the expectation of the people.